Hey guys, welcome to today's graphic design class. So this is our first practical assignment, and in this tutorial we're going to be creating a simple social media flyer. So let's get right into it. So when we're talking about a social media flyer, the standard size for it is 1080 by 1080 pixels. 1080 by 1080. And we'll click on OK. So this is how it's going to look like. So we're going to delete this text and click on OK. Going to come here, shapes, use the square shape that was created and expand it and place it here, and we'll come to the color. So this is the color we're going to be using for the color code. This is the color code here, B4E24B. You just click on here, type the color code. Once you are done, drop down and click on your tick mark and click on OK. So once we're done with that, click on our tick mark here. Then we'll come here under our layers and lock this layer. So we're going to add our image. From gallery. We're going to start by adding the shoe image. So this is the image here. If you want, you can crop it. I'm going to crop mine just a bit to reduce this empty space around it. Then click on my tick mark. So this is it here. So I'm going to increase the size just a bit and tuck it inside here a bit. So next I'm just going to make a copy of this shoe. Click on copy. We're going to use this to create a realistic shadow for the shoe. So click on this and come to color, and we'll change the color, enable it, change it to a black color, and click on our tick mark. Then we'll come to opacity and reduce the opacity. We're done with that. We'll now click on our tick mark. We'll now position it down here and carry this shoe and place it just here. So as you have seen, we've created like a realistic shadow. Then we're going to lock this layer, but before that, let's reduce the opacity of this a bit. Yeah, that's okay. So we'll lock this too. Once I locked it, we're going to be adding our text one by one. Click on text, double tap on this, delete and type fashion, and click on OK. Want to place this here, then we'll click on this A here at the bottom and go to look for font. Then we'll click on my font. If you remember the video I sent on how to install your font on Pixellab, then you now come to my font here and look for Montserrat extra bold. Let's use extra bold italic. Click on OK. Then we're going to click and drag at this corner point here to expand the size of the text. Then we're now going to make a copy of the text. Then we'll double tap and we'll type sales. Make it a capital letter and click on OK. So once I click on this, we're going to place this here. So I've placed it here. We're now going to start adding another text again. Make a copy of this, double tap, and we'll type offer valid. Click on enter, go to the next line. Throughout June. I'll make it in capital letter and click on OK. So we're going to come to our font and change the font size and the font type. So we're going to come here and we're going to be using a bold italic. Let's use a semi-bold italic and click on OK. Reduce the size, or you can look for the size here and reduce the size manually and drag it here and drop here. So next we're going to be reducing the line spacing. So come here and reduce it. You can see what this does. So we're going to bring it closer to each other and click on OK. Then we're going to align the text to the right. So once I've aligned this here, the next thing we're going to be doing, we're merging these two shoes together, the main shoe and the shadow. You click on this to merge and you click on OK. Once I've clicked on OK, you can see they've merged and it's at the top. So we're going to place them down back. Place it directly above the background. So as you can see, this is it here. So you can change it and have the effect of changing being applied to the both of them. So we're going to lock this back. Let's lock all our other text and the background. So we're going to click on adding a new shape. Then we're going to change the color to a blue color. So this is the blue color we're using for the color code. This is the color code 023D6B 023D6B, and click on OK. So we're going to come here and add a radius to this shape. Let's keep it at 19. Okay, let's reduce it first. So I will know what we're doing first. Reduce it, let's resize it and make sure it fits. So once we have this here, we're going to click on our tick mark here. So come to our layers and drag this and place directly above the shoe layer, as you can see. So we're going to make a copy of this. Come under here and click on copy and place this here. We're going to change the color. Click on edit, come to color. So this is the color we'll be using. This color for the color code. This is the color code 04AD54. 04AD54. Then we'll click on OK and click on OK. So we're going to reduce the size and position it just here, and click on our tick mark. Come to our layers and drag this and place this above the layer, as you have seen. Okay, now let's drag this text here, and yeah, this is how we want it. So let's make this bigger a bit. Yeah, that's okay. So we'll lock these layers and make a copy of this rectangle again. Make a copy and drag it down here to the bottom. So I'm going to reduce the size and place it just here. Let's make it bigger and reduce it again. Reduce it here and come on, position it directly under this and place it just here. So as you can see, our design is taking shape. So let's make this green rectangle a bit bigger. It's smaller. So let's make sure it's filling the text. Okay, let's do something like this. Let's unlock all these layers. Let's drag this here, drag this, and give space for the fashion to show. We're going to make this come out a bit. Then we'll drag the sails back on top of it. Take it higher a bit. Then we'll drag this and place it here. So place this here. I'm going to increase the width a bit. And yeah, this is okay. So let's drag this down a bit and place this here. So you can be playing with this until you're satisfied with your result. So we're going to lock this text layer. I'm going to be adding shadows to the rectangles that we created. So click on this first one and scroll to this side and look for shadow. You can see it. Click on shadow and enable it. You can see the shadow is there, but we don't want it that big, so reduce the blur radius. So this is for controlling the X and Y axis, you can see, and this is for the blur radius, as you can see. So it's going to take this back to where it was and bring it here and reduce the blur radius a bit. Let's take it down. And so you can take it all the way high, but we don't want that. We can just bring it down to around 4, offset X minus 7, offset Y 2, and click on our tick mark. Remember these settings, we're going to use them 4, minus 7, and 2. So we'll come here and lock this, move on to the green one, and click on shadow, enable, and remember what we're going to use, 4, just set it, everything right, and here satisfied. Remember this one is 2, this one is 7, 4, 7, 2, and click on the tick mark, lock these two. Do this for this last one. Okay, it's locked. It's not locked. For this last shape at the bottom here, so select it and come to shadow 2 again, enable, and reduce the radius. and bring it out a bit. 7 and 2. Kind of tick mark. So here we have it. So we're going to merge all these shapes together. Let's merge the shapes and the text all together. Just merge them all at once and click on merge and click on OK. So you can move them all at once. You can see, you can make it bigger or smaller. I'm just going to place this just here. So we're going to lock this layer. Once we're done with that, we're going to be adding our social media icons. Come to from our gallery. I'm going to be using the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter icons respectively. So start from the Facebook here. Click on our tick mark here. Then I'm going to resize it and keep it up here first. Then we'll go and add the remaining icons. So once I've brought all these into our design, we're going to zoom into this part and we're going to start resizing them one by one. Make sure that their sizes match. So I'm going to confirm that. Let's place this here. Let's place this here and place this here. So we can zoom in a little bit more to have accurate spacing between them. So I'm going to use our eyes to make sure they are equally spaced and equally sized. So we're going to make spacing, and so we can also on our grid lines and click on this here to drag this up here. Then we'll lock it back by clicking here. So you can see we're aligning our text on the same pane. I'm going to use grid line more in our design to get perfect alignment for our design. So once I've done this, we can remove the grid. We don't need it again. So we're going to change the color of all of this. So come here, come to color, enable, and scroll and look for a white color. Do the same thing for the remaining ones. So also done adding color. The next thing we're going to be adding shadows to this icon. So we'll click on shadow, enable. We'll bring this way down to number 1. Yeah, and take this here and take this here. You can see 1 minus 1 1. I want using this for the remaining ones. Once I've added the shadow to this, we're going to merge these icons together. So select the 3 of them, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we'll merge them together. So once we're done with that, we can resize it the way we want and just place it at the top here. So let's zoom out. You can see our design is starting to take shape. So let's lock this layer. So let's move down to the bottom here for our WhatsApp icon. So I'm going to resize this and do the same thing we did for those icons on the top, changing the color and adding the shadow. So once we're done adding that, I'm just going to resize it a bit and place it here. So let's make sure we're on the corner of our design, the right bottom corner of our design. Then we're going to add a shape. Click on shapes. So we're going to add this rectangle and let's resize it a bit. I'm going to add radius and increase it to the maximum, to the highest. So once I've done that, we're going to drag this and make it a bit taller, and yeah, this is okay. So once we're done with that, we're going to be adding stroke. But before we do that, let's make the color of the shape. Let's give it a dark color first. Then we'll add a stroke to it. Come here under the stroke, increase the stroke width. Let's leave it at 7. Then we'll change the color to a white color. You see why I made this blue and made this white. So once we click on our tick mark here, the next thing we're going to be doing, we'll just position this here. Then under here, look for erase color and enable it. You see automatically it erased the white color, but we want to erase the blue color. You click on this eyedropper tool here and select this blue color. Then you click on this tick mark here. Then you will now increase the tolerance. So because if you can notice some dots of blue inside the stroke, so we're going to increase it to remove it completely. So once we're done with that, just bring it down a bit, because you can see it's fading away the text. So I'm just going to bring it down to a 29. Click on our tick mark. So place this here. Once I've placed this here, I'm just going to click on here and position it very well. So unlock, So let's take this up a bit and place this here. So drag this here and lock this layer first. So for that, we'll just drag this and position this here. After we're done with that, we're going to be adding a text. Come here and add text and just type, delete the text, type contact us today. You can enter, then add your phone number +234 817 069 8283. Then click on enter and type call or text and click on OK. Once we're done with that, we're going to be changing the font. Click on A, go to the font, then I'm using a Montserrat semi-bold and click on OK. So we're going to reduce the text size. So come here to size and reduce it to bring it down. So you can see it's kind of choked up. So we're going to click here and drag it to bring the text out. So let's bring the text down a bit, position it here. So the next thing we're going to be doing, click on our tick mark. Let's change the color completely to this blue color of this shape here. So click on color and use this color here. Click on our tick mark. So once I've added the color, what we're going to do, we're going to change the alignment of the text. Come to align and align it to the right. Once we're done with that, we're going to be making some changes. Come to style here. Then once you click on style, you select the number from the 817 to the last and make it bolder. Or you can just simply do this like this. Let's click on our tick mark. Let's change our font. Let's bring it down to a Montserrat medium. So now you can notice the change that we made to this text. So I've brought it down to the medium. So I'm going to continue to the style and make the same changes. We're just going to be changing this text here, make it bolder, and click on our tick mark. So here you have it. So we're just going to position this icon here. If you want, you can reduce the size, or let's just reduce the line spacing. Come here and locate line spacing. Yeah, so you can see, let's reduce the line. Same thing we did for the other text directly above this, and position this here and position this here. Let's lock this layer. Sorry, we'll lock this layer. So once I'm done, we'll lock also the WhatsApp layer, and we're almost done with our design. So let's zoom out and see our design is taking shape. So let's drag this text out. It's inside a bit. Let's drag it out, lock it back, unlock our shoe and position it very well. We're adding our logo. So next we'll just come here and look for our logo. So this is our logo here, grocery store, that's PNG. So this is what we're going to be using for our logo. We'll then click on our tick mark and resize it and place it just here on top. Let's resize it. So let's zoom into that point of our design. Let's zoom in here, and yeah, so resize it and bring it, make it small, very small, and position it just here. So now we're going to be adding our logo name. It's going to be using a simple name, using shoe mart. Make it capital letter, click on OK. Change the font, using a Montserrat bold font, Montserrat bold. If you want, you can go bold and make it Montserrat black, extra bold. So once I've done this, we'll reduce the size and position this here just at directly below it. Then we'll come to color. I'm going to make only the matte a blue color, and I'll show you how to do that. So you see here at the bottom selection, we're going to select only the matte and make it a blue color and click on tick mark. Finish. Simple. I'm going to change the color of this shopping cart and change it to a white color. Click on OK. So come here and we'll lock these layers. Then we'll zoom out. As you can see. Then we're going to be adding just few shapes to our design to make our design more beautiful, but not too much. So I'm going to be adding a circle first. Click on our tick mark. So come to the fill here. Click on our tick mark. Let's change the color to, this is that green color, this green color. Then we'll resize it Let's bring it down a bit, sorry. Let's resize it, then we'll zoom into this part here. Then resize it and place one directly on top of the shape. Then we'll zoom out. Then we'll make a copy of it. So this is the copy here. So we're going to, let's make this smaller. Yeah. So look, we can lock this. Then we'll come to this and change the color. I'm going to be using the blue color. So select the blue color and we'll reduce it small first. Then we'll zoom in. Let's zoom in a bit. Then so zoom in, reduce the size still, and place this just here, directly on this part here. Then we'll zoom out. Then after I've zoomed out, we're going to be making white circles with white strokes. So we're going to click on shapes, and we're going to give this. Let's change the shape first to a circle. Then we're going to give it a darker color. Then we're going to add our stroke color, white color. Then we'll add this stroke. Sorry. Add this stroke here. So it's going to make it 8. Well, let's bring it down to 6 here. That's okay. So we're going to come here to erase color and enable. So we're going to click on the blue and click on tick mark and increase the tolerance way up to just 22. Then click on our tick mark. Then we can start resizing them. Then let's zoom in. I'm going to place 1 here in my design. If you notice, this shape is very small. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back and increase the stroke. So edit. I'm going to take this stroke way up. Take it up to 20. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm going to click on erase color and erase the blue color. Increase the tolerance, and we can start resizing this. So we'll click on shapes, make it a circle, reduce the size. So let's just place them here like this. So place one here. Let's reduce the size, make a copy, place another one here, make a copy and place another one here. Then we'll finally zoom out. So once we have done that, you can see design is very beautiful. So we're going to align this our contact section side. So let's zoom into this side. I'm going to reduce this a bit. Let's just make it bigger and make this. Okay, let's lock all this to avoid movement. So we'll unlock this contact section side. So let's make this a bit wider. Too wide, and so let's lock this text layer first. So once I'm done making the required adjustment to this design, we have come to the end of this tutorial. So when you want to export your design, save your design as a work. But before, you can also save your design as a project. If you have watched the intro video of the interface, you know how to save it as a project. So we're going to save it as an image. So come to export image. Then you come here and select the dimensions, set them to ultra, so we'll get a very clear quality, and set your format to JPEG. Then you click on save to gallery. Then to show your rendering image, give it some time and your image will be exported and saved as a picture. And this is just a simple social media flyer that I've created with Pixellab. And this is the end of the tutorial once more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.